allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call of council, please. Councilmember Garberding? Here. Councilmember Jones?
Here.
Councilmember Day?
Here.
Councilmember Olivera? Here. Councilmember Putnam?
Here.
Councilmember Stryker?
Here.
Councilmember Walker?
Here.
Excellent. So are there any changes or additions to tonight's agenda?
Speed limit on Harden Road.
So under new business? Any other changes or additions to tonight's agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, audience comment. I had one form up here, but it chose not to speak. Is there anyone else that would like to speak?
That's just the point. Well, it's really comfortably cool. The air conditioning.
That is
went out.
supposed to be turned off.
Okay, make it lower.
Turn off.
It is very comfortable.
Thank you. Thank you. It is. One of these days, we're going to have it, or we don't have these issues. Anyway, okay. So, again, I was asking for public comment. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the agenda, to the mayor's report. And I just have a brief report. I'm going to report briefly on the activities that took place Saturday night, and then I'm going to let Councilmember Garberding elaborate more on it since it was her project. But I did want to share with council something that was presented to the City of Pacific and Katie Garberding, Councilmember Garberding, for all of our activity and dedication to Always Brothers.
Cool.
So, at the finish line,
Closing ceremony.
at the closing ceremony, this was presented to Councilmember Garberding, and it says on here, presented to Katie Garberding and the City of Pacific, Washington, thank you for your support. Always Brothers 100-mile Memorial Run, July 26 through 27, 2014, Seattle, Washington, presented by Always Brothers. So that was pretty impressive. Nobody else got one. And then also that evening, I wanted to share it with council, and I forgot to grab it and bring it in here, and everybody can see it. Councilmember Garberding and myself were also presented with a letter from one of the, is Corporal Bob?
Bob Durgett was
Yes.
the father of the fallen, but it
That's
was
right.
Corporal, calling himself Big Sexton, I can never remember
Okay,
his
that's right.
name.
Anyway, it was a very
Smith.
heartfelt letter that was written to the City of Pacific on our actions last year when they came through the city, and how, and it was like a detailed kind of expression of how emotionally he was touched and the expectation. No, we're not, we'll just share. It's too long to read. It's a big full page, but it will be posted. What we're going to do is, I'm going to ask that we put this as well as the letter. We also got the challenge coins again this year, and put pictures and basically use the curio that's in the hallway and do like a display of the Always Brothers and all the events that took place, the fundraising events. I'm not going to tell you how much money that was raised. I'm going to let Councilmember Garberding share that. She did an awesome job. And two things. I want to thank the citizens and this whole community for coming together and doing everything that they could supporting the Always Brothers and their 100-mile run. They were deeply touched when they came here. Last year we had about 30 people that were here cheering them on when they got here. Last year they got here about 1 in the morning. This time they got here about 1 in the morning, 1:30. We doubled that this year. We had about 60 people out here cheering them on. And then the Valley Regional Authority also got their gator, and we had 2 off-duty firefighters escorting them on the trail along with Councilmember Walker and myself. And we escorted them on the trail from the City of Pacific all the way down to Auburn and did a mayor handoff, left them with Auburn as they continued on their run. But this community really stepped up and showed why I love this community as much as I do. Everybody came together. There were over 100 people at the spaghetti dinner buying auction items and stuff. It was very impressive, and to see people come back and be here at 1 o'clock in the morning to cheer these guys on for everything that they have done and their dedication and service to our country was very moving, and they were very moved for it. And I just want to say hats off to the community, as well as a big round of applause for Councilmember Garberdine for everything that she did, putting this together, all the fundraising, and really putting the city of Pacific in the great spotlight that we deserve about our community. I'll let her expand on that a little bit more during her report. I do want to share two more things. Is the Community Block Development Grant. We are still in the running for that. Darcy and Jim Morgan will be presenting next Friday, a week from Friday, on the grant money that we're going after for the new roof for the senior center, the gym, and the awning that goes between these two buildings here. So we're in the running. We have a good shot at getting it. They'll be doing the presentation, and we'll find out more about that later. So good job sticking with that, and hopefully we'll get that funding. And then also, I was notified last week that the Puget Sound Regional Council did award us $100,000 for the West Valley project. So that will give us the design money that's going to get us from County Line Road all the way to Stewart. So we will pretty much, at the end of this, have the West Valley and Pacific 90% design. So that will be shovel-ready to go out for more funding to get that project happening. So good, positive stuff happening, and yay. So with that, that ends my report. We'll move on to finance.
Yes.
There we go. Good evening. I have two items. At the first negotiation meeting with the Uniform Union representatives, it was held on July 15th. I'll be reviewing the contents of this meeting during the executive session on August 11th. Still waiting for some more details before I bring it to council. The next meeting is not until August 15th. Secondly, the city purchased the second bond. It's a smaller bond. It's $205,000. It's only for 5 months, but its yield is 0.2%, which is 2.5 times that of the pool. So this is what I'm trying to do, but 5 months was short, but it's good because it's in this year, and it'll give us more interest. So that's where I'm looking to try. I would usually do something a little bit longer term, but this is all I had, and I wanted to buy 5 of them, but he only had 1, so do the best I could. But it will maximize our interest a little bit more. That's all I have. Any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Cora?
I don't have anything to report, but if you have any questions, I can try to answer.
Any questions for Kelly? Thank you. Next item on the agenda is public safety.
I have nothing,
Nothing.
but are there questions?
Councilmember Jones.
Just an observation. Last week, I came down West Valley. We got 25-mile-an-hour posted. I don't think I saw one person driving 25 miles an hour, let alone probably 40 down that road.
We just did a traffic study, which I was going to bring to the mayor tomorrow at council, at our staff meeting. But I drive it too, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's not as, the study was over 3 days and 3 nights, and it's not near as bad as what I thought it would be. But we'll continue to do that. And we used enforcement along with it.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting we got 25 posted. Like I said, I was trying to do 25 and keep the guy off my rear end, coming down the road. So, but I just think it's a good idea if we, monitor it as well as probably tag a couple people.
Well, and that's what I'd ask you to do, put the trailer out there, let's go ahead and run it for a few days, see what the reports look like, and move forward with that. Councilmember Kate.
Yeah, we had, my wife actually had to call for police assistance last week. We had some suspicious activity in our cul-de-sac. elderly lady in our cul-de-sac, Mr. Rasmussen's husband passed away about a year ago, so we kind of try to keep an eye on things, and there's young guys, probably late 20s, early 30s in our driveway, looked suspicious, cars were kind of being tore apart, it looked like, and one guy just comes waltzing through our yard while I was gone, and so my wife called 911, and she stated that she felt that it was a long time for someone to come for an active thing, and I called probably a month before that for someone that was actively trespassing in a vacant home, and no one came in time to get that person. I'm wondering, is there any way we can increase response times for stuff that's happening now?
Well, we do try to put everything in progress as a priority. I'd have to look to see what the calls were and relate it to when your wife called. I'll be glad to do that.
Okay.
So, Councilmember Page, if you could get the dates of those two things to John Hawkins so that him and I can review the responses and the record on that, that'd be great.
There was an explanation for the first one, it was right at shift change, so that I understood that, but this one I don't know if it was something.
I'll look into it.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you. Okay, report.
Well, I would have said I had no report, but I did have stuff to report, except the mayor stole part of it, that's okay. For those of you who want to know, Valentine notice to proceed is August 11th, so that's basically when the construction will start. They'll be doing clearing and grubbing for the power poles, things like that, starting that week, and P.C.S. will be following right along behind that. For anybody who's driven down Butte today, we had a little water break, a big water break. Our connection with Webstone at that point, where Webstone, the old Webstone water meter was, the water meter exploded. So anyway, we're going to be fixing that and removing all the meters, the Webstone meters, in the next couple days, since we don't need them anymore. Any questions?
Questions? Councilmember Jones?
The construction site north of my property, I
Yes.
know they've been loading up the dirt. I think they're loading the dirt up on, so I'm assuming they're using that to compress. I don't know, I'm just watching the construction, so I've just noticed that all of a sudden the dirt on the one corner is about as high as many of my neighbors' fence. I'm assuming they're just compressing the ground.
I'll check into it.
But the other thing too is that they're not, should they be watering down the dirt?
They should be.
Yeah, because it's
Should
getting
be cutting the dust.
getting a little dusty in the
Okay.
neighborhood.
Yeah, that I can check into.
Councilmember Walker?
Do you know when on Valentine they're putting the power poles in? Like in the next week, or are they just planning for it now?
They're planning for it now, but they should be following right along behind the clearing and grubbing. So that week of the 11th,
So the one that's temporary at County Line in Valentine, that'll be replaced at that time?
that'll be replaced within a month.
Okay.
There is a permanent pole they put in there. They just have, whenever there's a pole that breaks like that, or is broken, the power company comes in and takes their stuff off of it, cuts the pole, and hangs it there until cable and phone can come in. And then at that time, the power company can come back and remove the pole.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay?
Any other questions? Thank you. Okay, community services.
Well, I guess I have a short report also. We have the cooling center open. It's been open 2 days. The first day, July 15th, we had 6 people. Wednesday, the next day, July 16th, we had 1 person, and he left at 5 o'clock. So just keeping you updated. Meals on Wheels, we have 4 people that signed up last month. So we're up to 4 instead of just 3. Stone Soup, today we had 42 people. I know. Thanks. Everybody must have heard about the spaghetti.
There was a lot left over.
There was a lot left over. So we had 42 people today. Joanne is going really strong on her summer program. Every Tuesday is movie day with popcorn. Friday, they had, I don't know if it was a contest or just active open play with, they made marshmallow shooters out of PCV piping. I guess Jim was in it. But they had fun, you know, and that's what the summer help is there for, to clean up that mess. Today for lunch they had 37 kids. And that's all that I have. Any questions?
Thank you, Darcy.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on to city council members' report, and I think we'll start with Councilmember Garber.
Well, like Dan said, we had a pretty successful evening. Altogether, we had in donations of goods and services, we had almost $5,000, and that was the gym, all of the things that were in the gift basket, just everything that it took to get it going, which was really incredible. And I tried to keep everything separate, but the night of the dinner, everything kind of crashed on me, and all money got put into one giant pool. So the grand total that we raised after the night was over was, my goal was $7,010, and we made $8,734.20.
Woo-hoo, good job.
And this money is going to go to an outstanding group of kids, it's 6 kids that all lost their father in either Iraq or Afghanistan. And one of the major blessings for me, it doesn't really matter to this, but I was reconnected with someone who also lost their son, which was a little boy that my kids used to play with growing up, and he lost his son in Afghanistan in Lima Company, and it was just absolutely outstanding to reconnect. And once again, one of our citizens stepped up to the plate when I called her and said, look, this is what I got, this is what I need. And in 48 hours, she made him 2 absolutely beautiful commemorative bracelets for he and his wife for his son. So again, community just steps right up. I had so much help, couldn't have done it without it. Jim Shunky and his troop, and he's not here, prepared, shopped for, and did the entire dinner. Promised to hit me in the head with a ladle if I went in the kitchen. Leanne, Fran, Stacy all helped me with, we had 7 or 8 different days where we sat in the absolutely pouring rain or the 92-degree heat trying to collect money at booths, and just met a bunch of incredible people, and I am really, really thrilled and proud to live in a community that all came together, you know, for this cause. So I appreciate every single person that helped out, and you all need to give yourself a hand and a pat on the back, because you had to work with a crazy girl like me Saturday night who ran on 2 hours of sleep. But it all went off really, really well. So I'm very, very happy, and my husband over there is happy it's over too, but I have found another cause that I'm going to start working on very, very shortly. So I may need a divorce attorney. So anyway, I can't thank the community enough, because without the community, we couldn't have done it.
Absolutely. Any other council reports? Let's follow that one. Any other reports from council? Okay. So moving on, Finance Committee.
We met on the 15th. We discussed the second quarter financial reports, went over them. We went over them last week. Council at the workshop, we discussed air quality and the maintenance issues with the building, and our desire to see several options presented so that we can make the best responsible recommendation to council for the direction we should go.
Questions? Okay. Governance Committee?
We have not had another meeting. Josh is working on a couple ordinances to reword them, but other than that, just waiting for some, we need to change the
Inspiration. Okay. Human Services Committee.
Sorry, we haven't had a meeting, it's been a couple of weeks. I'm gonna assume we're gonna have one on the 5th.
On the 5th.
Yeah.
Do we have any?
I don't know.
I don't have
Right now,
anything.
Tentative was planned the fifth.
It's on the fifth.
Yeah. And
Yes.
I'm talking to Darcy about if we have agenda items or not.
Not so far, but
Public
that
Safety
can
Committee,
change.
Councilmember Governor, Public Safety Committee?
Yes, we haven't had one since, it's been about 5 weeks. I really need you guys to get a date together where we can meet. Send me an email, and while we're talking, you know, how you know.
Maybe right after this meeting, you'd get together?
Right, I had your list of concerns, but I need a night where we can all meet. I know Vic is the one that has the most issues in the evenings because he has to work, so.
Work around his schedule.
So maybe directly after this meeting, that you guys can get together and set a time, that'd be great.
Can you hang around after the meeting so that we can?
Okay, Public Works Committee,
Would be meeting due the first Wednesday of next month.
okay, next week?
Next week.
Okay. Technology Committee?
We met on the 17th. We discussed a couple things, the FTR Gold system, upgrading the recording system, the actual software and the computer and hardware, along with the microphones, because the potential move for later this year, the council chambers being in portables. We talked about buying, for a short-term solution, buying a portable recording system, since we're not continuing to borrow VRFAs if we move into the gym. So we talked about that. We're pricing it. Auburn's going to kind of look at their contacts and price it for us. We continue to talk about tablets. I think we're ready to go on tablets. No council action required budgeted for next year, for this year. More of an FYI. We talked about that last week. And then we continue to talk about some of the additional upgrades that we're looking for in council chambers, for hearing impaired, the TV, the different solutions we're looking for, but until we know what we're doing in the building, it's kind of a moot point. We can't do anything until we know. So we have quotes, several quotes from Auburn. We're looking at, you know, different scalable solutions. We're looking for a permanent solution for the dais, for the recording system, and different upgrades that we're kind of at a standstill until we know what we're doing.
So, moving forward with the tablets, do we need to put a policy in place on the use of the tablets?
We're working on that too.
Okay.
Yeah, Auburn's going to provide us with their, kind of what they do, and not only for tablets, but for general internet use in general, for the city policy for internet use. We're looking at all of those, and the technology committee will continue to review those and bring draft ordinance to council.
Okay, good. And then also send to our attorney for review.
No, she doesn't get this.
She doesn't get to see it.
Or the insurance company, nobody gets them.
Okay, thank you, I appreciate that. Okay,
One question on that. We already have a mobile communication device policy that extends to BlackBerry, PDAs, pagers, wireless cards, and any other mobile communication device. Would the tablets fall under that, or do we need to exempt them from that in order to have a separate policy?
I think we need to reevaluate that policy and look at look at the better policy. I think they're different because,
disagree.
yeah, that policy is old enough to where the purpose of a tablet is a little bit different than the purpose of a PDA, so,
Yeah.
and essentially they're computers. The ones we're looking at are computers, touchscreen computers. So I think it falls more to the internet policy, and then we need something that talks about that because they're mobile. So, but we're looking at all that.
any other questions? Okay. So, Civil Service Commission, I don't see